Chapter 2, Design Requirements. Chapter 2, Design Requirements. Site Development, TC1211. Site Development, FCL2. The Primary Site Analysis. Primary Site Analysis. Conduct the preliminary site visit for the obtain the photograph of the site, research obtained with the existing built record, the drawing, subsurface investigation data, the reports, and potential surface reports with the geographical, topographical information, utility, storm, water, drainage, available, soil, boring, long information near the site, the conducted details, and consult with the user order, and to clearly define the requirements of the precedence based on the information obtained different from the preliminary configuration, location of the matrix site, elements, building, location, orientation, parking areas, storm detention facilities, accession, and egress for the egress to the site, presence of the result of the analyst of the use of the review, the geotechnical site investigation, obtain all the necessary soil exploration, testing, and evaluation of professional geotechnical engineer most certified with the adequacy of the soil foundation aspect of the design, determine the amount of the exploration test base for the discussion with the governmental geotechnical engineer, structural engineer of the foundation, civil engineering, payment of wells, septic tanks, etc., local stormwater permitting agency, detention ponds, additional in the site, and known to have the environmental contamination, contact with the government internal environmental reviewer for the additional some of the sample testing evaluation must be in accordance with the UFC 22003FA Geotechnical Engineering Procedure for the Foundation, Design of Buildings and Structures, UFC 3250-01FA Pavement of the Design Roads and Streets and Walks and Open Storage Ways, UFC 26002 Pavement of the Design of Airfields. Contract documents must show the result of the subsurface investigation, including the boring locations, boring logs, ground water observations, summary, a laboratory test of the result, and any detail required of the requirements for the site preparation, surveying. Prepare to seal the survey with accordance with the requirements of the local governing authority, likely licensed board in which the site is located. Order with the survey must be in a minimum third order, coordinate with the government's environmental coordinated before entering the area with regards to the restriction, concern, vegetation, cutting, clear, natural resources, endangered species, etc. 21311 topographical survey. They provide a topographical survey of the project site with accordance with the National Society of the Professional Surveyors model standards of the topographical site. Surveys with the following: the modification of project of the drawing with the government shall with the English and metric as directed for each of the specific projects. Ensure adequate adjacent areas, including the survey limits that clearly indicate the accommodated setbacks required for the anti-terrorism criteria, off-site drainage, the off-site utility connection impacting the project provided with the boundary survey, the location, easement, security clear with the zone for the limit of the scope of the work. Show horizontal control using during the field survey indicate the reference to coordinate with the plan. Two permanent control points with the reference, including the description point with the PKN nail cap, etc. provided with the minimum of the 3 reference distance existing in the permanent structure. Reference points so the control can be reestablished. Elevations, paved impervious surfaces with including rims of utility must be shown with the nearest 100th of a foot feet, or 0.005 meters for the metric design. Show elevations on paved previous surfaces to the nearest tenth of a foot, 0.5 hundredths of a meter of the metric design. Indicate name, survey with the firm, the date of the survey, then match the line with the involving more of the 3 sheets provided with the key of the map of the current sheet with highlighted, removing any extraneous lines and text from the key map. The north should be oriented toward the top of the left edge of the plotted sheet, according to the north direction of other disciplines, so that all the plans are oriented to the same. Accurately locate the remains of the security structure visible with the surface through the restriction of the activity utility mass built drawings, built data located with the utility comes following list of the utilities both above and below the ground structure. Feature of the provided notes indicating the sources and limitations. Assumption of the data the contractor must be verified. The location of all the utilities prior to the construction. Survey must include the following specific items related to pertinent above ground features, but not limited to: buildings, describe building material, the number of the storage pavements, include the type of the material, areas of the pavement, the demolition occur, note all of the pavement and thickness, including layer thickness and the joint material patterns, replacement pavement layer thickness of the may be obtained with reviewing of the as-built information, digging at the edge of the pavement, core drilling, consult the activity of the personnel with the proposed pavement, but they expect with the existing pavement to provide with the pavement, marking the joint pattern, indicating the joint type of the existing pavement, surface terrain and features, including normal water level for the permanent standing water, include the rim elevation, utility sources, structure, location, identified with the lines of underground, above ground, pipe size and its material, identify water systems as potable, non-potable, high pressure salt water is applicable. Fences not height of the type of the fabric, barbed wire, the direction of the outrigger, the top of the bottom rail, tension wire of the gate, location of the type of the foundation, individual indicate visible foundation of the demolish buildings, fuel pipe storage tanks include fill ports, vent lines, tanks and drains, etc. Pump stations, invert the influent pipeline evaluation force for the locate all the above ground elements, including control. Railroad and crane rails include turnout rail size compromise the joint location curve and information with such as the PC, PT, and PI as they may be applicable to design requirements of the proposed projects. Title shoreline note that the water elevation time of the day and tidal condition at the time of the shore survey indicate the normal high and low water elevations reference for the datum used. Trees and woods in wooded areas located outside of the drip line with the area would include the general density of the type of the tree with the well selective clearing with accomplished located individual tree size over 6 inches in diameter. Wetland areas. Wetland and marsh areas are to be flagged and numbered by the government prior to the survey. Locate the flags labeled in the same manner as marked with this field. In unanticipated wetlands found during the survey, advise the government civil the reviewer to establish any additional survey requirements. Permits. Provide all necessary documentation, design, construction permit, maintaining intent of the facility, construction, environmental permits of the integral part of the contract. Documentation, the designer of the record shall determine and comply with all the imposed requirements of the regulatory agencies of all parties of the project development. The designer of record shall determine all the permits, approval, the fees required for the development, the federal, state, and local regulatory authorities for the proposed project. The use of the project as NEPA documentation should complete with the permit of record of the decision for obtained with the download tab of the Part 6 for the Navy flag design building website at the following link of the ndbg.wbdg.org system HTML 6453 to assist in determination. Obtaining permits to oversee documentation in accordance with the applicable country-specific final governing standard for the development of countries without and a final governing standard in accordance with the oversee environmental baseline guided into documentation DOD 4715.5G. The contractor is required to perform work in accordance with the obtained permits, consult with the government project manager to determine the appropriate signatories for the permit applications. 215, clearing and demolition, removing the existing utilities under the proposed building facilities within 10 feet of the proposed foundations layout. Site layout shall satisfy the functional operational requirement that the new facility, the design shall integrate in the construction of the context of the site with the surrounding environmental incorporating the following. Incorporate the setback, stand off with requirements compliant with the respect of the property lines, applicable codes, anti-terrorism criteria for security, provide adequate access for the existing traffic patterns, locate the new utilized for the minimize of the connection point with the new utilities shall be at least 10 feet from the proposed structure except for the building connections. Existing utilities remain within 10 feet of the proposed building shall be relocated. Preserve natural topographic features to minimize the cut and fill impact of the existing drain pan for the tree removal. Eliminate the minimizing construction activity requiring permits. Consider aesthetics. Minimize maintenance and operation costs. Include sustainable design elements phase of the project. Accommodate the constructible security requirements for the site. 2161 anti-terrorism criteria. Refer to UFC 40101 DoD minimum anti-terrorism standard for the buildings incorporated with the applicable requirements for the project. Force fencing gates and entrance of the naval installation compliant with the latest edition of the UFC 402201 security entry control facility exit control points. Military Handbook 1013-1A design guidance for the physical security of facilities. Military Handbook 1001-1310 design guidelines securities fences gates barriers and guard facilities. Military Handbook 1013-14 select application vehicle barriers. Navy 5530.14C of the Navy's physical security. MCOP 553014 Marine Corps Physical Security Program Manual, and the UG 2031 SHR User Guideline for Protection Against Terrorist Vehicle Bombs. Alright, 2162, handicapped accessible. Handicapped accessible to provide the barrier with the free design in accordance with the requirements for the DEP SEC DEF Memorandum of Access People with Disability dated October 31st, 2008. The memorandum updated the DOD standard for the making the facility accessible to people with disabilities. The U.S. Access Board issues an update with the accessible guideline with the DEP SEC DEF Memorandum of Implementation Military Unique Requirements specified with the memorandum attachment. The NEED DOD ABA Architectural Barrier Act Accessibility Standard for the DEP SEC-DEF memorandum are located at accessboard.gov ADA 2.2% database ABA standards DOD CFM. Alright, parking layout. The parking layout. Design of the parking layout incorporates the military service development of the Distribution Command and Transportation Engineering Agency of the pamphlet 5517 Better Military Traffic Engineering, Chapter 4 with the parking date January 1987 number 9 feet wide spaces shall be used for the 1090 parking, 90 degree parking is preferred. The parking area location layout must conform with the current anti-terrorism requirement indicated with the paragraph 2141. Number of the parking spaces determined the basic facility requirement derived with the Navy Fact publication P80, the plan criteria for the Navy and Marines Corps shore installation refer to the scope of the work such as the DoD Form 1391 design build, the request for proposal, etc. for the total parking requirement number of the spaces. All stripping must be 100 millimeters wide, or 4 inches wide, white in color except for the blue for the handicap. When required, the project scope of the contact government project managers concerned with the requirement of the motorcycle parking, motorcycle link parking areas must be maintained 100 millimeter or 4 inch thick Portland cement concrete stalls must be 3 by 3.05 meters long or 1.52 meters wide or 10 feet by 5 feet. Alright, parking area circulation. Parking area circulation. The system must allow all the type of the traffic that may be associated with the facility, including deliveries, emergency garbage pickup of the system must be, however, the discharge through the traffic. Turning radii clearly indicate the turning radii parking with their entries within this island. If they're accessible to fire, maintenance, and trash their services of the vehicles is required, the facility routing through the parking lot necessary to provide layout of the turning radii according with the latest edition of the AASHTO publication policy of the geometrical design of the highways and streets for the appropriate design vehicle type. R217, site improvements. Provide site improvements according with the state and local standards for the project located with the remote location with the relevant local standards. Consult with the government civil reviewer to establish the standards to be used. Sidewalks. Determine sidewalk requirements based for the need, the capacity, accessible requirements. The use must be consulted with the special walkway requirements such as the facility as barracks must exit. Wide walks may be required with the matching purpose of their musters formation curb or gutter. Curb or gutter. Use the concrete curb or the gutter will show the sheet the flow of the overlaying flow cannot be achieved. Will in-site compatibility continue to respect the adjacent facilities requesting is use asphalt type of the curbs are not allowed. Wheel stops. Wheel stops provided with the 1836 feet with the long precast concrete wheel stops anchored for the pavement, the rebar with the parking space, the adjacent with the sidewalk without the curb, with the public buildings fencing in areas where the part of the vehicle extends past the strip of space with the wood like cause property damage in the area with extreme slope with adjacent areas adjacent to the stormwater management facilities located at the front face of the wheel stop 30 inches from the edge of the pavement of the sidewalk. Bollards. Bollards must be 1.24 meters or 4 feet high with a 100 millimeter 4 inch diameter steel pipe filled with the concrete paint provided with the bollards or around any structure subject to damage from vehicle traffic by incidental contact. Ensure the adequate concrete of the foundations designed with the bollard for the vehicle barriers are applicable to refer to the Military Handbook 1013-14 selection of application vehicle barriers for more information. 2175 signage and marking. Signage and marking provide with the associated pavement, the mark of the facility, property utilization project site with the new traffic control devices, signs, markings, etc. must be provided with the accordance with the latest edition with the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration Manual on Uniform Control Traffic Control Devices. 21751 security signage. Security signage comply with the UOP Navy Instruction 553014C or MCOP 553014 trash dumpster enclosure, tramp dumpster enclosure. Where dumpsters are required, the project to provide with the dumpster pad with the enclosure of the dumpster enclosures must conform with the BEAP provided with the concrete pad with the support accommodate the dumpster front wheel with the service truck with the verted 2.6 for the rigid pavement design. 2177 the equipment enclosures. Equipment enclosures include for the outside mechanical electrical equipment is directed. Additional enclosure requirements included with the paragraph entitled the anti-terror criteria. Design location enclosure for the interdisciplinary responsibility. Location enclosure must be reviewed to ensure that all servicing clearance code requirements are met with no existing new utilities conflicts that are present. Fences provide fences are directed to provide security fences in accordance with the physical security criteria of the Military Handbook 1013-1A, Military Handbook 1013-10. Navy is 5530.14C, MCP 5530. 2.14 when required for the project support. For safety requirements of fence, appropriate design shall be provided with around the surface stormwater management facility, particularly with the residential housing area, playground, shared child care facilities, or other similar applications with the fence to enhance the welfare and safety of the children, provided with the fence and stormwater management facility in accordance with the applicable state regulations, minimum of 4 feet high, with locking access gates, which is more stringent. Grading and storm drainage system. The grading and storm drainage system. Design the surface drainage for the underground gravity drainage system of the stormwater management facility in accordance with the requirement for the applicable regulatory agency of the government where the project is located, with the guidance noted within the USC, whichever is more stringent. The stormwater pump at the station is not allowed without written with the approval of the government civil reviewer as of the project. Designing the storm drain system. The storm drain management scheme must be considered. The storm management plan must comply with the federal, state, and local regulatory requirements, including regional and site-specific stormwater management agreements. Ensure the temporary, permanent erosion sediment control practices are provided with accordance with the regulatory requirements during both construction and operational phase of the project. The grading must be complex for the feature of the function of the natural drainage system. The existing contours also considered with the groundwater table elevation, setting and the sizing of the stormwater management facility. Use the surface drain sheet flow for the overland flow in lieu of the gravity sewer system as within the land use permit. The pump station transmission mains are not allowed. Alright, 221, design criteria. Alright, design criteria, TC221, design criteria. The facility minimum finished floor of the elevation, mechanical, electrical equipment pads must be above the 100-year flood evaluation indicated with the last edition of the flood insurance rate map prepared with the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The degree of the protection in the year of the pavement must be in accordance with the locating permitting regulatory requirements, ensuring proper correlation between the difference of elevation datums. Storm drainage design associated with the construction must be in accordance with the ground notice of the hearing of the state of the Department of the Transportation, the drainage of the manual with the protection of the located with the applicable regulatory agency of the government of stormwater management, whichever is more stringent. For the design of the drain system that uses minimum of 10-year storm frequency for the minimum required for the local governing authority, whichever is more stringent. For the design of the drain system for airfield, the requirements are also as follows: runway takes, pavement, 2-year storm frequency, apron pavements, 5-year storm frequency obtained with occurrence within the government civil reviewer, hangar and other flight line structures, 10-year storm frequency, roof drainage. Roof drainage is discharged with the grade with the provided the splash blocks and provide paved channels directing the flow away from the structure, then eliminate the safety hazard for the icing and ponding and flooding and pedestrian vehicle traffic areas. The underground collection of the roof drainage is used to provide with the air break between the downspout and the underground piping. The size of underground piping is according with the internal plumbing code or the international plumbing code, or 6 inches in ID minimum, whichever is greater. No more than 3 downspouts shall be collected within a single unit before connection to the storm drain structure. Length of the pipe for the most distance downspout to the drain structure shall not exceed 150 feet, provided with the clean out of each of the downspout connection with the collection header. Surface storm drainage, grading. The grading of the site to provide with the positive drain with away from the facility for the first 10 feet, but provide with the minimum of slope of the 5% with the established finished floor elevations at least 6 inches above the finished grade of the parameter of the building. Ensure that the grading of the associated stormwater runoff do not adversely affect with the surrounding size of the basin of the grounding with the minimum slopes indicated in the table 2, unless otherwise directed by the government civil review to design in accordance with the AASHTOA policy on geometrical design of highways and streets for the maximum grade of the UFAS for handicap accessibility. Table 1, grading. Item number 1, item description: longitudinal grades of the roadways, minimum of 3.3%. 2, the transverse grade of the roadways, 0.2, minimum of 2%. Concrete pavements and parking area sheet flow, 1.5 minimum percent, maximum 5%. Curb and gutter, valley gutter, minimum of 3 toners for the percent. Bituminous pavement and parking area sheet flow with a minimum of 2%, maximum 5%. Handicap areas and parking areas, maximum 2%. Walk and transverse 1.5 for the damage is required. Walk and longitudinal minimum of 0.3 hundredths of the percent and maximum 5%. Concrete landings maximum of 2%. Unpaved concrete ditches longitudinal pavement a minimum of 3 hundredths of the percent. Unpaved ditches a minimum of 5 hundredths of the percent. Pervious surfaces minimum of 2%. Alright, open channels. Limit the maximum of the prevent erosion of the soil type landing with accordance with the state, the Department of Transportation Drainage Manual, where the project is located with the applicable regulatory agent for the government stormwater or the state erosion sediment control manual with the regulation where the project is located, whichever is more stringent. Erosion sediment control. Erosion and sediment control provide erosion sediment control measure for the conformance with the requirement of the state applicable regulatory agency with where the projected location with specific regulation does not exist. Apply the erosion sediment control measure for the similar and appropriate jurisdiction reference to the government standards for that were used. Underground storm drainage. Underground storm and drainage if and the drainage system design shall comply with the local regulatory agency standard requirements of the following guidelines, whichever is more stringent. Provide a straight alignment of the piping between the storm drainage and the structure with the deflection structure no greater than 90 degrees for the main line flow with a 24 inch diameter and greater 120 degrees with the contributory flow line for the use of the curvilinear arrangement is not allowed. Additional design requirements follow. Storm drainage pipe must not pass under the buildings, must be at a parallel distance of at least 3 meters or 10 feet from the building foundations. Conflicts with other facility utilities should be avoided. Conflicts of structures will not be allowed with the governmental approval to comply with the state applicable regulatory agencies' requirement for the separation distances between utilities and other public and safety issues. Provide a structure collection inlet point with at least 20 every 92 millimeters or 300 feet to provide pipe of 610 millimeters or 24 inches in diameter left of the pipe, the junction chain with the horizontal and vertical alignment of the pipe run provided with the structure at least every 122 meters or 400 feet from the pipe to the under the up to including 1,220 millimeters or 48 inches in the diameter, at least 244 meters or 800 feet from pipes larger than 1.48 inches in the diameter provided with the discharge structural flow chain of the pipe to open the channel of the flow. Provide inlets on the roads to reduce the spread of the corners with the State Department of Transportation Drainage Manual where the project is located with the requirements of applicable regulatory agency for the government stormwater management, whichever is more stringent with the spread shall never be more than 1.5 driving lane based on the 5-year storm intensity. In the design, culvert storm drainage consider headwater with the tailwater with the effects of the hydraulic grade line with the capacity of the hydraulic grade line with the drainage system shall not exceed the elevation 1 foot above the pipe crown, 1 foot below the structure of the rim gutter flow with the line inlets with whichever the lower elevation each of the structure culverts shall not be surcharged more than 1 foot at either end or at structures. The inlet pipe with the ground elevation must be equal to greater than the outlet pipe of the ground elevation is the minimum of the hydraulic turbulency at the junction. Provide adequate slope with the structural the flow of the channel, accommodate the hydraulic losses through the structure. The pipe size must not decrease downstream in the direction of the flow. The shaft should include the connection of the This shall include the connection of the new collection system with existing facilities pipe size that must be in accordance with the State Department of Transportation Drainage Manual when the project is located with the requirements of the applicable regulatory agency with the government storm management, whichever is more stringent. Locate drainage structure out of the paved area where possible. Adjust the structure location by the primary wheels for then when structures must be located in roadways. Minimum pipe size. Minimum pipe size. Storm draining pipe size, not including roof drainage pipe, must have a minimum inside diameter of 15 inches. Minimum cover. The minimum cover of the pipes of 300 millimeters or 12 inch, regardless of the class of the strength of the pipe. Measure for the cover of the top of the pipe at the top of the pavement and for the finished grade. All pipes shall be elevated with the design lead and live loads that will be encountered with increase the depth of the cover of the pipe, the material strength, and the bedding of the requirements to accommodate with the imposed loads. Design velocity. Provide a minimum flow velocity of 2.5 feet per second and a maximum velocity of 10 feet per second using a Manning equation with the piping the flow of the flow full of the under no surcharge peak flow conditions. Manning's roughness coefficient. Manning roughness coefficient using Manning roughness coefficient N of 0.0113 thousandths for the circular smooth pipe for the other drain shape of the material. C, the state or the local regulatory agency requirement. Material selection provided for the storm drain system. The material in conform with the PTS section G30 UFGS for material selection for the restriction when required to meet the specific design for the condition for the project. For the corrugated aluminum high density polyethylene piping shall be explicitly authorized by the government civil reviewer. 2246 culverts and outfalls. Culverts and outflows must have the headway and endways, wing walls, flared mid-end sections at free outlets, provided with appropriate erosion sediment controlled measures at the outfall. Alright, storm structures. Storm structures may be in accordance with the State Department of Transportation standard specification when the project is located with requirements of the applicable regulatory agency for the government, storm water, for the management, whatever is more stringent. The structures must provide with access for the maintenance. Internal dimension must not be less than 600 millimeters or 2 feet in any one direction in each of the catch basins, or curb inlets, manholes, area, adequate size for the accommodated inlet with outlet pipe. The structure of the cast in sub-pipe, the cast in place precast concrete, man center structure shall not must not be used in airfield construction, but will be also allowed to be on their projects only with for shallow installation less than 5 feet in depth. Design structure frame for the cover of the grades with its stand with the traffic loads meeting any additional requirements set forth the U.S. agency criteria within particular applications such as airfields. Airfield structures shall be designed in accordance with the Federal Aviation Administration and AC 1553205B airport drainage and required ductile iron steel grates and cover to locate isolated airfield structure from the pavement requirement section. Use appropriate standard detail for the airfield structure available for the government civil reviewer. Design graded covers to be on the bicycle-proof design where appropriate. 2.5. Storm management facility. Storm management facility. Design in accordance with the guidance of the local regulatory agency governing the storm management. The selected approach must conform with any of the stormwater management agreements obtained approved with the design for the government and civil review prior to the submittal of the local regulatory agency. Safety and security. Safety. The design of the stormwater management facility such as the detention retention pond must incorporate the protective measurement of the residential housing areas, other areas frequented by children. Protective measures include but are not limited to appropriate site selection for the stormwater management facility and or providing head fencing and enclosure surrounding the facility to ensure the safety of the children. Security. Provide security barriers at all locations where security fences must not cross drainage ditches and swallow the assure that the intruders that are prevented the passing under the fence without delay. Pipe crossing under the security fence is larger than 250 millimeters in diameter. Required protective measurement. Design must comply with the physical security criteria, including the Handbook 1013-1A, Military Handbook 1013-10, Navy's 5530 Series 14C, MCPS 53014, Water Distribution System. Water Distribution System. Design criteria. Design criteria. The design of the water distribution system includes the water supply well, the storage tank, in accordance with the requirements of the applicable regulatory agency, the governing water works where the project is located, the National Fire Protection Agency criteria with the requirements of the USC, whichever is more stringent. The following water distribution system parameters should be met. Determine the required flow based upon the peak demand for the conserve the fire protection, industrial domestic demand for the future growth. Conduct the fire hydrant flow for the test in accordance with the AWWA manual from M17. Installation field testing, maintenance of the fire hydrants, American Water Works Association National Fire Protection Standards. Fire 291 fire flow testing, marking hydrants in the vicinity of the proposed point with the connection with the existing water distribution system. Determine the available flow of the system, residual pressure, including the hydrant flow of the test information basis of the design and or calculation of the residual water of the pressure of the peak of the flow must not be less than 20 psi. Coordinated mechanical plumbing, the fire protection engineer to determine whether the higher residual pressure is required for the specific project. Where automatic fire extinguisher system is being provided with the residual pressure must meet the requirements for the activation of the system while simultaneously providing 50% of the average domestic and industrial flows. Do not exceed velocity greater than 1.52 meters or 5 feet per second on the PVC pipeline lines. Do not exceed velocity greater than 3.05 or 10 feet per second in pipelines constructed material other than PVC. System layout. The layout of the new water distribution system shall minimize the length of the new lines and shall be looped as much as possible. The firefighting water system is separate from potable water distribution made such that there are no fire hydrants, including the water remain flushing device in the design of the potable water distribution system at the C and frequency of the fire hydrants would be provided. Minimum cover. Comply with local regulatory requirements. Minimum to protect pipe from freezing and impose dead and live loads where installation requirements are not regulated at least 0.91 or 3 feet if the cover is preferred. Or your maximum Hazen-Williams roughness coefficient. The maximum Hazen-Williams roughness coefficient, unless otherwise directed, to use the following Hazen-Williams roughness coefficient C for the various pipe material of the ages. Alternate values may be used when they are specifically derived for the flow test modeling with the distribution system being modified. Table 2.2 maximum and minimum Williams roughness coefficient C, maximum Hazen-Williams roughness coefficient C. Pipe, concrete, age, coefficient 130, ductile iron 120, cast iron 5 years at 120 20 coefficient, 10 years at 110 coefficient, 20 at 90 coefficient, 30 at 80 coefficient roughness, and PVC at 140 PSE. Thrust resistance, thrust restraint. The restraint at all pipe at the fightings valve with the prudence against, but the rest is in accordance with the manufacturer recommendation. Material selection. Water mains. New water main materials should be in conformance with the PTS section G30. Polyvinyl chloride or PVC pipe. Polyvinyl chloride pipe do not use PVC pipe in the above the ground applications at the velocity of the above 5 feet a second. The PVC pipe of the design shall address the surge pressure and conditions. Ductile iron pipe. The ductile iron pipe. All the ductile iron pipe must have the cement monitoring the lining of the corrosive soil conditions wrap ductile iron pipe with the polyethanol. All ductile iron pipe must have cement motoring lining and corrosive soil conditions wrapped ductile iron pipe with the polyethanol. High density polyethanol pipe, or high HDPE pipe, provide adequate protection for the sunlight, fire, flotation, wheel loads for the high density polyethanol piping. Water surface lines. The water surface lines shall be in accordance with the TCS section G30. Backflow prevention. Provide in accordance with the applicable local regulatory agency requirements valve with the provided shut off of the valve water distribution pipeline so that no more than 2 fire hydrants are taken out of service while a single break of it anywhere in the system designed in accordance with the USC 3600-01 fire protection engineering facilities. Requirements of the following type of the valve: the gate valve, the butterfly valve, sluice valve, the gates, air release valve, the altitude valve, float valve, plug valve, pressure regulating valve, the pressure relief valve, vacuum valve. All valves must comply with the latest applicable American Water Works Association standards are provided with indicator posts for the gate valves where required with the compliance with the UL 789. Hydrants. The provided shutoff valve with the valve of the box with the range between the hydrant and the main and the branch line with the fire hydrant valve must maintain a minimum of 150 millimeters, 6 inches in diameter. Further reference to UFC 3600-01 hydrant spacing requirements. Alright, service connection meters. The service connection meters provide water meters as directed by the government. Water pump stations, water booster pump stations, transmission lines are not allowed unless explicitly authorized by the government civil reviewer. Wastewater collection system line, wastewater collection system in accordance with the requirements of the applicable regulatory agencies of the government sewer system with the projected located with the guidance noted with the USC, whichever is more stringent. Also, the design industrial wastewater collection systems in accordance with the UFC 240-02 design wastewater treatment station system augmentation and both the gravity system of the preferred and shall be provided whenever possible to obtain the government approval of the pump station systems when they are deemed to be only viable methods to provide adequate sewerage and service. Design criteria to design new water system capacity used for the average daily flow of the per capita of the sewers where appropriate the peak factor. The use of the per capita sewage flow rate of the peak factors as required with the sewer age regulations where the project is located. The minimum peak of the density capacity for the main sewers must be 250% of the average annual daily flow. For the population less than 100,000, the minimum peak of the density of the capacity for the main sewers must be 400% of the average annual daily flow. Evaluate the downstream capacity upgrading existing system with carry existing proposed additional flow. Regulatory standards that do not adequately address the per capita rate for the facility type of the obtained the guidance for the government civil reviewer. System layout. The minimum pipe size. No sewer main shall not be less than 240 millimeters or 8 inches diameter. Minimum lateral size for the building surface connection shall be at least 100 millimeters and 100 feet or 4 inches in diameter. Minimum cover. The cover over the sewer pipe shall be 2 feet or greater than the frost penetration according with the UFC 310-01 for the sufficient support imposed with the dead and live loads for the pipe of the material used, whichever is more stringent. Flow velocity. Exterior lateral connection for the sewer main. Minimum flow velocity should be 0.6 times for the meter per second at 2.5 feet per second. The maximum velocity is 3.0 meters per second or 10 feet per second. When calculated using Manning's formula and a rough length coefficient of the value of 0 on 13,000%. Lay out all sewer lines in straight alignment between the manholes. Clean out the maximum space between the manholes shall be 120 millimeters, 400 feet provided with a manhole at any change of the direction slope for the surface of the connection with 100 millimeters, 150 millimeters, 4 inch to 6 inch diameter. Whereas change in slope in the direction of curve, manhole may be replaced by cleaning out the provided length of the surface of the line downstream with the clean out no longer than 30.5 meters or 100 feet. Combining sewer laterals, multiple buildings will not be allowed. Each building must have its own lateral to the sewer main. Material section. Sewer mains and laterals must conform with the PTS section G30. Sanitary structures, manholes. Minimum diameter of the manholes must be 48 inches. Larger diameters required for the larger diameter of sewers. The minimum clearing opening diameter of the manhole covers 24 inches. Unless otherwise indicated, the provided traffic loading determine the traffic requirements for the frame and the covers. Provided manholes and cast in place precast construction masonry manholes will be allowed on project only with a flow for a shallow installation of less than 5 feet in depth. The drop in the manholes, provided drop manhole, and any manhole where the difference between the inlet pipe with the inverted elevation manhole inverted elevation is greater than 24 inches. The drop of the connection shall be made with the exterior manhole shall be concrete with encased so that it's integral to the main structure supported with the same foundation slab. Flow channel. The flow channel through the manhole must be made with the conform and close as possible to the same to the shape of the slope of the connection sewer. Whenever the connectors are made with the existing manhole, the benchmark must be reworked to provide the proper flow channels. Pump station, transmission stations, pump station, transmission station. Use the pump station only when it's specifically identified with the project scope of the work upon with the written approval of the government civil reviewer. Provide a new pump station with the upgrade of the existing pump stations at the corners with the guidance noted of the herein requirements of the utility provided with the requirements of the applicable regulatory agency with the governing pumping systems where project located, whichever there's more stringent water pump stations, wastewater pump stations. Design wastewater pump station in the corner of the 10 states that the recommended with the same for the wastewater facility except with the noted herein the wastewater pumps exist and grinders must be capable of passing 80 millimeter or 3 inch solids provided with the wet wells of the precast with the concrete of the fiberglass construction provided an emergency pump connection with the appropriate valve and capable of the rapid connection with the portable pipe that can be bypassed with the pump station from the wet and well to the force main. Design criteria: redundancy, reliability. Redundancy and reliability. Provided with redundancy with the duplex, triplex of the system with the the peak flow. Provided with one pump without the surface select the pump of the motor house horsepower such as that it accommodate any variation of the flow head along with the entire design impeller with a curve without motor overload and overload or failure. Provide emergency power with the operation conform to the applicable regulatory requirements. Access. Pump stations must have adequate access for the personnel. Equipment, the maintenance, and replacement access points must be lockable. Piping. For the piping of the pump station, the pumping system shall be conformed with the requirements of PTS section G30 with the system flow velocity shall conform applicable jurisdiction regulations. Where none exist, the velocity shall be not less than 0.6 meters per second or 2.05 feet per second or more than 3 meters per second or 10 feet per second. Polyvinyl chloride pipe. Polyvinyl chloride pipe. All velocities above 1.5 millimeters a second or 5 feet per second in PVC pipe. The design shall be addressed at surge pressure and conditions. Ductile iron pipe. The ductile iron pipe. All the ductile iron pipe must have the cement motoring line with the coastal area where the corrosion may be probable. Wrap ductile iron pipe with polyethanol. Provide restraint and joints the corner of the thrust restraint designed with the ductile iron pipe. Piping accessories. For the dry pit, wet pit pump stations provided with the pressure gauge of the discharging pipe directly downstream with the pump. Provide air release valve at the high points and provide a flow meter with required with the utility provider. Minimum cover. The minimum cover over the force main must be 0.6 meters or 2 feet greater than the frost penetration according to UFC 310.01. Sufficient support impasse, dead or live loads greater than the depth required with the installed valve riser, whichever is more stringent. Alright, alarms. Pump station monitoring alarms shall comply with applicable jurisdiction requirements. Monitoring shall be the local designated by the government, but the system shall be used the full capability of the existing system stands to be used the activity public utility operation of the station where specific regulations are not in place with the visual and audible high water alarm and pumping at the pump station. Ventilation and lighting. Ventilating and lighting. Provide pump station with ventilating and lighting in accordance with the jurisdictional requirements. Pump station. Water pump stations. Design water pump station in accordance with the 10 state recommended standards for the water works except as noted herein. Stormwater pump station, stormwater pump station. The design of stormwater pump station according with the State Department of Transportation drain manifold projected and located except as noted herein. Stormwater pumps must be only used with explicit authorization by the government. Upgrade existing pump stations. Existing pump stations may be upgraded where compatible hydraulic analysis shall be the pump station can operate with the proposed capacity in conformance with the jurisdictional requirement for the new pump station at equal capacity. Hydraulic analysis shall include effect of the existing force main with the deployment of the discharge into the network effective of all the pump stations connected to the system. This analysis is required whenever the additional flow is added to the pump station, even if the physical changes of the station are not proposed. Flexible rigid pavement, flexible pavement. Materials shall be conformed with the American Association of the State and Highway Transportation Officials, the Asphalt Institution, local Department of Transportation, and the state which the facility is to be located. The rigid pavements. Design rigid pavement non-reinforced whenever possible. Will provide reinforced for the odd-shaped slabs. An odd-shaped slab has a length to the width of a ratio greater than 1.25. 1.25 ratio, clearly indicating the drawing and specific individual slabs requiring reinforcement. All areas considered possibly alkali silica reaction criteria, cracking potential for the local aggregates, specifically non-reactive aggregates, low alkali cement, or the certain type of the polyvinyl materials provide air entrapment in all the concrete pavements. Saw cut contraction. Construction joints do not allow the use of the insertable form of the contraction joints accomplished load to the transfer to the core, or else expansion joint use the thickened edge of the expansion joint to accomplish load of the transfer across the construction longitudinal joints that using the valve and thickened edge. The contact with the cognizant government or civil reviewer for the approval prior to the use of the key joints, which may be considered based upon the loading of the subgrade strength, do not locate the dowels with a distance equal to the pavement thickness for the either side of the contraction joint. Alright, repair and maintenance. Elevate pavements in accordance with the UFC 3260-03 design airfield pavement elevation. Airfield pavement. Design according to the UFC 3260-01 airfield heliport planning design piece 80.3 facility planning factor criteria for the Navy Marine Corps installation appendix E airfield safety clearances for your geometrical design and airfield pavements. Design airfield pavements according with the UFC 3260-02 pavement design for the airfield's minimum thickness design for the airfield pavement section shall be according with the latest revision of the pavement transportation computer assisted structural engineering software. All airfield pavement design must be sealed with the registered professional engineer who is experienced with the aircraft pavement design so safe that the high quality, geometrical correct airfield structures conform with the current applicability airfield criteria that are maintained. Porous pavement is not allowed with the airfield design. Airfield pavements include any of the pavements supporting vehicle trafficking and the airfield management. Airfield pavement markings. Airfield pavement marking for the Navy Marine Corps facilities must conform with the Navy Air 5150 AAA2 assault landing zone marking helicopter markings should conform with TM 59234 marking of the Army airfield heliport facilities. Other design factor for the airfield pavement. The other design for the factor airfield design. The design engineer of the airfield payments project should address the following: phasing of the work, use of the recycled materials, possibly batching for the asphalt of the core concrete, staging areas, haul routes, and temporary airfield markings of lighting required for the construction, road, streets, and open storages. Road, streets, and open storage areas for the design in accordance with the UFC 230-18 FA with the general provision geometrical design road street with the walk-on open storage area, the AASHTO with the policy on geometrical design highway streets with the geometrical design with the vehicular roads and streets of the porous pavement encompassing not only the stone pavement but also grasscrete and other pavement mixes shall not be used unless approved in writing with the cognizant government of the civil reviewer. Minimum thickness design vehicular pavement section should be in accordance with the PCASE UFC 3250 series and then TM 5822 series. The minimum thickness of the granule base shall be in 6 inches. Provide thicker aggregated bases required to reduce frost penetration of the subgrade with the increase of the modulus valve of the weak subgraded soils. Flexible pavements. Materials should conform with the local Department of Transportation in the state with which CAPAS facility is located. Rigid pavements. The materials should conform with the local Department of Transportation and state with the facility located. Design rigid pavement that is not reinforced whenever possible. Repair maintenance. Evaluate the pavements according with the USC 3260-03 260.03 pavement markings. Provide installation pavement markings according to the manual of the Uniform Traffic Control Devices or MUT CD. Coordination with the naval instruction installation for their specific requirements. Traffic control. Provide installation new traffic control device. Sign markings according to the MUT CD. Coordinate with the naval installation for the specific requirements. Chapter 3 Design Services.